It's consistent with the polls that we've seen over the last few weeks, so there's no surprises there. It's obviously disappointing, there's no doubt about that. We came into this election thinking that we could win the election.
You really did, yeah?
Yes, I did. Yes, absolutely. I think that we've conducted as well a very good campaign. I think that we've led on the issues that concern people. You yourself conducted a poll, and the two main issues for people were the question of the LNG facilities and also the public finances. And I think that we've led on both issues, and I think that the government really hasn't had an answer to those two issues. The problem here is that we have had over the last 4 years a government that has spent an awful lot of money and has kept an awful lot of people happy. When you marry that with the fact that no government has ever been debunked in after 4 years,
well,
then
one,
I think
one has.
Well, one that was a coalition between two parties, the IWBP and the Isla Group, but it hasn't happened since 1972. So it was always going to be a tall order. It was always going to be for us an 8-year project, because when I sat down with Sir Peter and discussed it just before he resigned as leader of the GSD, we both came to the conclusion that it was going to be an 8-year project. You see, the GSLP machinery is a very savvy political machinery. It is a machinery that burns political opponents. And of course they identified who is the threat in the GSD. And if you eliminate Danny Feetham from the political equation, then the GSD has a real problem. And that is why I have been the focus of so much attention over the last 3 years. Danny Feetham is not the kind of individual to cave into that kind of pressure. But in Gibraltar, the good times have always lasted almost forever. And people, it's very difficult for that kind of message, which is a cautionary message, to actually get through to people. You know, I mean, I don't call it negative. I call it cautionary. But I firmly believed in what I was saying.
Okay, so how is the GSD going to change now?
Well, the GSD has got to just simply work harder. It's got to go out in the community. It's got to get its message to the community. It's got to make sure that its people are known in the community. If I were to say that I have made a mistake over the last 2.5 years, is not doing enough of that. I mean, you know, there were a lot of people who didn't know Danny Feetham. And, you know, there are people coming up to me and saying, well, you know, I didn't know you, now I know you, and I've got a completely different perception of you because I know you. And perhaps what I ought to have done is what I'm going to be doing, is making sure that we go out in the community and that people know us at an individual level, that people know at a human level what we're all about, that we develop those bridges and those contacts with grassroots. That's very, very important. And obviously, building that
positive message.
Positive message. And also the machinery, which is very, very important. The GSLP machinery is light years ahead of the GSLP, of the GSD.